This is my fourth and final video talking about how we're using BIM 360 as well as other Autodesk products and Ship Constructor to support a distributed environment with each site using different tools or different authoring tools. So one was using PDMS and the other one's using Ship Constructor. So in this post I'm going to focus on clash detection and communication between the two. And clash detection especially in this distributed environment when you have two sites working on different portions of the project, but they are connected. So since one is working on mechanical and piping systems and HVAC and electrical systems, and the other one working on structure, that there's going to be some interferences and therefore penetrations have to be managed. So this becomes a very difficult problem when they're using different tools, and BIM 360 solves this quite well. So there's different ways of doing clash. The first way I'm going to be doing it is through the BIM 360 web app. And this is just more of a communication tool. And then I'll move on to Navisworks, which really has a good workflow on making changes to your model, your original authoring tool, and still using the original combined project for communication. So if you look at the clashes icon here, and we run that, and we click on Find Clashes, and again, as we're using two models, one site is responsible for the hull and structure, and the other is responsible for the outfitting. So we just select those two, we keep it a reasonable tolerance, and we do clashes. So if anyone has done clash detection in Navisworks, BIM 360 Glue web app uses the exact same engine, so you'll get the exact same results, and you'll see how fast it is. It was done in real time here. So clash overview, open and close. This is a way that you can actually manage clashing, and remember this is actually on the combined project, so any changes I do here is totally accessible from either site, and you can actually manage and coordinate who's doing what. So if we select our clashes, it does the normal viewing of your parts and the clashes. I have a zoom in, zoom out there, but there's many ways you can do it or don't want to do it. And now to do the communication, or you want to communicate something to the other team, one of the good ways of doing it is through adding a markup. So if there's something here that has a clash, and I want, for example, Dennis, do something, I can save it, and now that markup and comment is associated with that clash. Another benefit that you can get from here too is that if you've managed these, and these are all ones that you can ignore, you can simply say ignore. You can select some and notify particular people if that's something that you need to communicate. But there's always an overview here that tells you exactly which ones are open, which ones are being resolved and closed, as well as you can always do statuses here. So if I just want to look at the ones that have been ignored to make sure that I validate them, or they should be ignored. So, and again, this is a great way that once I've added these comments and communicated this is actually in the model, and anyone would be able to view it and comment and get those notifications. So I'm going to go right to my iPad app. So my iPad app for the same model does not have clash detection, so the clash detection has to happen in the web app or Navisworks. But the good thing that you can do in the web app or in the iPad app is that those clashes are actually ends up being markups. So if I just refresh my markups, you'll see that the clash markups were just added, and that gets added automatically. If I go to my markup, I created 1 minute ago, if I select that, it actually has my markup of my clash. So again, you can see these notifications and see what information is being added on the iPad app, which is quite cool. One last thing I want to state too is it's always good to look at the activities, which we talked about before, and again, it has everything that's been added. So markup has been added, and you can click on it and it takes you right there. So now to go to Navisworks, and this is the reason why I picked Navisworks as my source proxy, I guess, application to upload into BIM 360. One main one was it's already used in most workflows, but really when you start managing with penetrations, it becomes very, very useful and a pretty seamless workflow. So I already have the model here. This is the model that I just opened through the BIM 360, which I've shown you in the previous post. So if we want to do clashes, go to Clash Detective, add a new test, we have a tolerance there, select the hall structure and the outfitting, exactly what we did in the BIM 360 web app. Let's see if we can minimize this a little bit here and run the test. So as you can see, it runs very, very quickly. So, and it already just taken me to my first clash. So you can have different ways of viewing it. This kind of gives you a method of seeing it where it is in the project. Just if that makes, so you can actually see where those are. You can just select all these different ones. And you have all the same functionality of ignoring, approving, and the management ways and commenting. But one, oops, I'm going to do hide others. One thing I really want to show you is the management of this. So if you have this piping system that comes from site 2, and I'm dealing with a structure that is on my site, how do I actually add a penetration to that? How do I get this information that was combined in BIM 360, downloaded into Navisworks, and how do I open up my authoring tool? Well, with Navisworks, because it's created and it's integrated into Ship Constructor in the project, you can simply select this part, and this is where you want to create a penetration, and you can right click, call switchback, and it will open up Ship Constructor. It will open up the drawing that is part of that, and will take you right to that location. So it takes you right to the location of that part. So if we switch back to Navisworks, you'll see that the view is the exact same view as the one that is in Ship Constructor. So you can now use Ship Constructor as and make the penetration that you really require. So that concludes my web series. I hope that adds value to you, and you understand how you can use the BIM 360 and this strategy to solve your distributed environment with different teams that are not co-located, as well as or especially when they're using different tools. But this strategy can also work if they're using the same tools. So hope that helps, and if there's any questions, let me know.